It is an absolutely gorgeous winter day today. David and I are out here piddling around. I've got a thing or two I wanted to show you out here as we get ready for the spring gardens. David's feeding the squirrel. The squirrel loves for David to feed him. Now every year I try to show you this amazing camellia bush that I've got out here. And these are the blooms this year. Now last year there was ice on them when I shared the beautiful camellia blooms with you, but this year it's not icy. It is a chilly day, but it's a beautiful sunny chilly day. This camellia bush is loaded with blooms. It is loaded with buds. So to be busting out here before we know it. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's one of the first things that blooms in my garden, and I so look forward to it every year. And this is February, so it is blooming in February. Absolutely beautiful. I wanted to share that with you. I've got a lot of daffodils coming up. You can see right here. You can see my shadow. Apologize for that. So everything is looking good. It's starting to come up and sprout out in here, even though it's still very, very late winter.
I found 3 M&Ms. Oh, doesn't look good.
You found 3 M&Ms in the nut bag?
I'm finding more.
Okay. You get to keep the M&Ms for yourself?
Yep.
Now I have got some tulips and more daffodils that I want to put out in this garden. But I'm still not ready to do it. I'm going to wait until it gets cooler because we've had a few faux warm days. And you can see some things are trying to bloom and come out. And I don't want everything coming out too early. I don't want to have the blooms and things busting out here too early because it'll get cold again. And it'll bite them back and I won't get to enjoy the blooms to the full extent. So I'm going to wait a little while before I plant my other tulips. The bag of tulips and the bag of daffodils that I got from Sam's.
Does this look like a seed?
It is a seed. What kind of seed do you think that is?
I don't know.
It's a sunflower seed. Have you ever tasted one?
I don't want to eat it.
Here.
Let's plant it.
It's very good. Well, it's been roasted. So we can't plant it because it's come out of this bag. It's been roasted. But you can eat it if you want to taste it. We've had plenty of rain. So the bird baths are full of natural rainwater. We've got some hyacinths coming up right here. Some beautiful, beautiful flowers.
How many trees so you won't even see?
Here's Cookie this morning. He's going to sun. He's just going to enjoy that little sunspot from the door. We're back inside now. I picked this up today, and it was the last one in our Tractor Supply. It's the whole seed catalog 2024 from Baker's Creek. And I have really enjoyed looking through this today. I don't think it says Baker's Creek on it anymore. What is it, Rare Seeds? Have they changed the name? I don't know. But look how thick this thing is. I went through a few pages of it and saw some beautiful, beautiful things. I always go through this to see if there's anything new and unusual that I want to add to my garden this year. And I don't mind getting a late start because I'd rather get a late start and everything take hold than I had get an early start and lose my seeds. So I picked this up today. I'm going to finish looking through it and check off if there's anything in here that I want to add to my seed collection. And then very soon I'll be dragging out my seed collection that I have from downstairs in its little collective containers that I keep. And I will be going through those, deciding what it is I want to plant for the spring of 2024. It's a very exciting time of the year. It's a very exciting time of the year to go ahead and get excited about what we can grow, what we can get started out in our gardens. Now, I grow as much as I can on my little quarter of an acre here. It's not even quite a quarter of an acre. It's in between a quarter and a third. Very small lot here in the city. But me and Donald grow as much as we possibly can on that little bit of land. So now's the time to start preparing for that. We did the no dig, no till method for the last 2 years, and we have really been pleased with that method. We've really enjoyed that method of gardening. Now this is the book that got us started, the No Dig Organic Home and Garden, Grow, Cook, Use, and Store Your Harvest. And we were so just so fascinated with this whole system of growing that we decided that this was for us. So we tried this 2 years ago and we have not been disappointed. It's been one of the best ways to grow in the very, very small area that we have. Now, before the No Dig Organic Home and Garden we got started with this, The Joy of Gardening by Dick Raymond. And this book was copyrighted in 1982, so it's been around for a while. The Joy of Gardening. This right here gave us a lot of inspiration on how to garden in a small space, how to get the most produce you could possibly get out of a small space. And so this book, it really inspired me and Donald. And for the whole time that we've lived here in this house and have had a small garden, this is where we began, The Joy of Gardening. It had such great tips and ideas and just simple solutions for a small space like this. This is an older book, and this is the book that follows up on that, The Joy of Gardening Cookbook. And it's by Janet Ballantyne. Let's see and it was copyrighted in 1984. So this book came first, Garden Ways, Joy of Gardening by Dick Raymond. We bought this book, and then we got this book, Joy of Gardening Cookbook. So it just gives you ideas to what to make and how to use all that bounty you're going to get out of this little garden right here. So these are the 2 gardening books that me and Donald started out with. And then we added this one right here, which incorporates much of this same, some of the same ideas that Dick Raymond had here in his book. Charles Dowding and Stephanie Haverty incorporate in a different way. And I just love this idea. And you can see the plots, they look about the same. And if you look through this book, there's a lot of similarities. And he makes a big deal of that you can even grow on a driveway. Dick Raymond does. He says that, it's so easy to grow that you can grow on a driveway. Well, I'm getting really excited, very excited about gardening and getting what I'm going to put out in the garden this year. There are a few staples that I always put in here. I got my notes sticking out here. It ain't got nary a handle on it. That's very Appalachian right there, but that's what I've got for a bookmark. Not sure what it's talking about there. But I pick up random papers for books anyway. But you can see the harvest in these 2 books. If you need any kind of inspiration, this is a wonderful source to get. I know you can get it through Amazon. Of course, these books right here, they may be harder to get. You can get them at a bookstore, a used book store like McKay's, or even on the internet. I haven't even looked to see if those are sold on the internet. But these two books these three books actually, have really been an inspiration to me and Donald. That's something that we pick up often, ideas and apply things that can work in our small space by these, referring back to these books. So I'm excited to share those with you. I know I've shared these with you in my 5 books in creating a homestead. These were 3 of the books that I shared, or at least 2 of them, I'm sure, because I read them and I refer back to them, and they've been such an influential read that helps me with the garden that I have today. Me and Donald are very happy with our little gardens. I'm telling you, you will be amazed at how much you can get out of a small garden if you just take the time, energy, and effort to plant one. Now, we have rabbits, and we use rabbit manure. We can put that on straight from underneath the rabbit cage. It's mild enough that it won't burn up the plants. It won't affect them in any negative way. I do see that there's more weeds. There's weeds that come with the compost that comes from the rabbits. Now we have chicken manure that we've got chickens, and so we take that manure and put it over in a compost pile, and we let that manure compost for at least a year before we add that manure to our garden. So that's where we get our compost. And we've got a kitchen compost bin. I've shared that with you before. It's just right off the deck where we can step out and drop all of our eggshells, coffee grounds, garden scraps. We can just go right out there and drop them out there. So we've made that convenient so that we'll be sure to do that, and we have done that for years. And we get a lot of good, rich compost, and it's just full of earthworms. So it's also got worm castings in it because it stays full of earthworms as it breaks down. And that's the compost that we add to our garden. We also added leaves from the ground. We don't have that many trees that drop leaves, but the neighbors do, and they blew over here in our yard. So, of course, we raked them out and put them on our garden to add to the compost. We don't till our garden. We just add compost and plant it accordingly, according to the guidelines in the No Dig Organic Home and Garden book by Charles Dowding and Stephanie Haverty. So that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years. It's worked out great for us. We've been very pleased with our yield. We've had plenty of tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, many things that come out of that garden we have thoroughly enjoyed. Now, I have an herb garden over to the side of the house. I've shared that with you guys before. I'll do a tour before we get started planting and show you what's coming back when it gets closer to spring. And then I'll try and include you in my seed choices this year. I'll show you what I'm choosing to plant out here as soon as I get that plan made out for myself. I'll be sure and share it with you. But that's the kind of things we have in our garden. Maddie, you need help? You need help? I'll help you. So I'm looking forward to sharing some spring gardening tips and some spring ideas and plans with you this year, and showing you what I plan on planting out in the gardens and just having a good time with that. I'm telling you, it's right around the corner. It's getting time to start thinking about it all, and it is so exciting. It's so hard for me to wait until the proper time around here. I want to get a jump start, and of course that's not going to work if it turns out to get really cold. We have had snow in March and even in April here before, so I can't jump the gun too soon to get my stuff out. I do have a little portable greenhouse on the back of the porch. That helps me get a little bit of a start, and I do start some seeds inside, but not a lot. I'd rather have a later start and things turn out well than to get an early start and everything freeze and be set back. So that's usually how I my rule of thumb for getting everything started. But it is getting time to pick and see what kind of seeds we're going to start this year. I look forward to sharing that with you. Thank you for letting me share this with you today. I hope you have a great day, a wonderful day, and get excited about spring just as much as I do. And we can share some ideas together. Leave a comment if you've got something to say. Subscribe if that's what you would like to do. I would love to have you as a subscriber. It's how this thing works. Comment and share. and it'll help my channel out. I appreciate you being here. And like always, until next time.